Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the C64 core for the MiSTer, and maybe we take a look at the VIC-20 and some other cores too. So let's get started. So after starting up the MiSTer, you go to Computer and then C64, and that in a second brings up the Commodore screen. And as you can see, it's defaulting to Dolphin DOS, which is a fast loader. So let's take a look at the options we have in the C64 core. So if you press F12, you can mount the disk drive, which is just number 8 right now. You can also activate number 9. You can load PRG and CRT files and REU and TAP files. You can go into audio and video, and you can switch between the NTSC and the PAL version of the C64. You can define the aspect ratio between full screen, which looks shitty and awful, and original, which we will let for now. You can activate the scan doubler, which sometimes looks good, sometimes not so good. I guess the CRT 50 is a pretty nice setting because this looks pretty much like the real C64. And you can do different scalars, which we will also keep to normal. You can set different sits for left and right, so you can kind of do a dual sit. You can use custom filters, which we will not do. You can enable the sound expander, Digimax, and the stereo mix. So that is audio and video. In the system settings, you can enable drive 9, which you can do. You can enable a parallel port and reset the disk drives, which is something that on the original C64 you had a little serial connector which plugged into the disk drive, and you could push and then it would reset the disk drive. You can enable the GeoRAM and the RAM expansion unit, and you can use the 512 or 2 megabyte or the 16 megabyte version, which is not that official. The official one is just the 512K. Let's activate that since it doesn't make a difference. And you can also use GeoRAM, which we will not do right now. You can use the joystick expansion, which I guess is the 4-player joystick adapter, which you can plug into the user port. Not quite sure about that. You can activate RS-232 mode for modems and stuff like that. You can switch between the two CIA models, which is the 6526, the standard breadbin CIA, and the Commodore 64C model, the 8521. And we go with the standard, and you can use or set some different settings for the joysticks and the potentiometers on the joystick ports. Here's some more settings. I have no idea what this does. And you can set the different ROM versions for the C64 and the disk drives. And we will leave it at this. You can also use the C64 GS, and if you reset, you can see that is how the game system C64 looked like when you started it up. So let's quickly go and set that back. To have loadable C64, right. You can swap joysticks between port 1 and 2, which is pretty useful, so you don't have to plug and unplug. But since the MiSTer only has standard USB ports, that is quite useful. I will show you in a minute. Yeah, so that is that. You have, now you can see you have also mount drive 9 since we activated that. So let's reset. And in order to use this, you have to copy files over from the PC. And I will show you that, and then we'll get back here and I will show you how to load these files. So in order to actually transfer files to the MiSTer, I showed that in the MiSTer CPC video already. I use FileZilla, which already has a new version. and I have my server prepared here in a server manager, and this is my IP and my root and password, and I'm using the FTP file transfer protocol. Remember that the MiSTer has to be switched on and connected to the network. If you don't have a wireless connection or a wired connection, you can't connect to it, so make sure you did that. And then you move to the games directory, and there you find all the different machines. And we want to see the C64. And I think we will create a new folder here, which we just call New Games. And this is where I will copy the files over. I have a folder here with some disk images. These are mostly D64, but I also have Sonic the Hedgehog on D81, because no swapping of disks required. So we copy this over here. It just takes a second. And there we are. And now you have the files on your MiSTer, and you can just press F12 in the C64 emulator and load it up. And we will do that just now. Okay, so files are on the MiSTer now. And what you have to do now is again press F12, mount drive. And in our new games folder, there are the games we just copied over. So let's go with the, let's say, bare essentials. And that image of the disk is now mounted. I can just use it like a standard C64 disk. We just go load *81 and we run. And since this is Dolphin DOS, this you can see that is a bit faster than usual. I have my gamepad here. And if you press any button on the gamepad, you can see on the screen which button is which. So A is my fire button 1. So let's see. Press fire to start. And you can see nothing happens if I press the A button. So what we do is we go into the F12 menu and swap joysticks, and that should now enable the A button. And there we go. If you don't know Bare Essential, it's a game from, I guess, 2019. Pretty recent. And you are a bear who has to provide apples for the winter for his family, which are shearing here, or who are shearing here. Yeah, it's quite nice to play with a controller like this, because with a joystick it's, at least for me, almost impossible to beat the game. And that's it. Yeah, as you can see, this looks pretty awesome, and it plays awesome because this is FPGA emulation, which means that all the original circuitry from the CPU and all the custom chips is pretty much rewired via software into an FPGA chip, and this is not software emulation. This is real in-chip hardware emulation. If we go over there to that stump which looks burnt and get to the next level, or the next screen rather. I didn't beat this game yet, so can't tell you how long it takes or whatever. But I like it. It's easy and a nice platformer. Okay, so let's reset and load a different game. And this time we are not going to load a D64 image, but a D81, which is Sonic the Hedgehog. And we have to activate the REU. I'm not sure if we have, yeah, we have the REU enabled. And with that, we can just go and load Sonic, which might take a minute because it's quite some data to move. Let's run. And we want fast load. And no, we want the game, not the manual. Sega! And now it's loading again, which is okay. And no, we don't want that. So since we didn't load the game in full, we always have to wait for the level to load. I'm still in awe how good this game plays on the C64. If you haven't seen my interview with Mr. Sid, the programmer of the Sonic C64 version, just check it out. Very interesting and very interesting view on the process he takes, and some of the technical details that make this game possible. Yeah, this is a clone of the Master System version, not the Mega Drive version, so there's no loopings here. And some say that the Master System version is the better game, so no loss here. Okay, so that works. And you can of course do all kinds of stuff here, but this is the C64 core for the Mister. And it's good. You can use this and it works with pretty much everything you throw at it, because it's been around for a while and it's a good core. So maybe let's go and check out another Commodore core, and let's go and check out the VIC-20 core, which is way down here somewhere. Here it is. Yeah, that is. And you got some similar settings like load a PRG or a CRT cartridge, or mount a D64, or load from tape. Enable scan doubler, so if you do the 50% here, this looks just brilliant. We can also switch between NTSC and PAL mode again. And you can set the external RAM expansions to the various address spaces. Yeah, so that is the VIC-20 core. I'm not going into too much detail here because it works just like as expected. So yeah, another one we can take a look at, since we are here, is the PET core, which I do like a lot because it just looks great. And here's the PET core, which actually looks strange right now. Ah, there we go. So if we use this, we get a nice picture, and we can also load tape files from here. I don't have any on here, so I would have to copy them over via FTP. But this is a PET, and you can use it, and you can use it with BASIC 4, and you have the 32K version right here. Don't think it has a super PET, but you can at least increase CPU speed, and you have some kind of diagnostics which you can quickly run. Yeah, and you land in the monitor. Yeah, so there's not much to see here if you don't load a program, but it just works. Okay, so that pretty much sums up the Commodore cores, or at least the C64, VIC-20 and PET core on the Mister. I left out the C16 core because I will do a separate video about that. Yeah, as always, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, want to see any more programs, stuff like that, want to run any tests, let me know and I will make a video. Until next time, bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Retro is the New Black. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. If you like the video, please share. Every like, share, and comment helps a lot. Until next time, bye-bye.